Hey yo, YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Hood Logic, and I'm back with another story from the hood. And today, I want to tell the story about the summer I had to go on the run and randomly became a weed farmer. Let's get into it. So at this time, my girlfriend and I are staying at her mother's house, and I'm in between jobs. And over the year prior, 2 years prior, I have racked up tons of tickets in multiple different courts. I think I got into a scuffle with somebody and had an assault charge, like a minor assault charge, in four different court jurisdictions. And I didn't really know where to start, so I just avoided it all and just put it to the back of my mind and forgot about it. So randomly one day I meet a ex NBA player who now is retired, and he is a partner with a woman on a vegetable farm. But they're about to be one of the first farms in New York State with a license to legally grow hemp, but for research purposes only. So they don't know me from anywhere. They don't know what type of worker I am. They just take my word for it, kind of. And they hire me to build the tables to grow the baby hemp plants on, the seedlings. They want to grow them on the table to keep them up off the ground, and we could water them, and the water will pour down through the table. So that takes me about 3 days. And at the end of the 3 days, the farmer liked my work ethic and thought I was a hard worker and wanted me to stay. So I had nothing else better going on. So I say yes, why not? The only problem is my ride to work in the morning is about 35, maybe 45-minute ride, which is not too bad, but it's further than I really want to travel. So the lady finds out how far of a ride I have in the morning, and she offers me to move into the farm. There's a big farmhouse with, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 bedrooms maybe, and she offers me to move in, but I refuse the offer. I don't really like anyone being able to say they did this for me or did that for me. So I say thank you, but no, it's okay. So one morning, I'm driving my bike to work, and I'm probably speeding like always. And I look behind me because I have no rear view mirrors on my bike. I look over my shoulder, and there's a state trooper behind me with his lights on. And like I said, I have multiple warrants, a suspended license, and probably things on me that I shouldn't have. So the good part of my brain tells me pull over, and I start to pull over. But then I think about it, and it's early in the morning, and I'm just not in the mood to get arrested and go to jail at that point in time. So I change my mind, downshift to probably second gear, and dip and get away very easily. Work the whole day. Let me go back. My license plate was either always off of my bike, or I had it tucked up under the back fender so far that you couldn't read it if you were right up on it. So that day I make it to work the whole day, everything's fine, and drive my bike home that day, make it home fine. Don't see any state troopers. The next morning, I get up and I'm getting ready to leave, and I think for a second, should I take the car? Should I take the bike? I'll take the bike. The cops probably forgot about me already. They're not going to be looking for me. So I'm traveling up to Taconic, and I get to the area where I thought I ran the day before, and I start to slow down a little bit so the bike's not as loud. And I come around this sharp corner, and there's a state trooper with his lights on, just stopped in the middle of the two lanes. And I pull up behind him, slow down, almost come to a complete stop, because I'm thinking maybe there was an accident. A lot of cars hit deer, different things like that, a lot of accidents on the Taconic. So I'm thinking it's something like that. Something tells me to look behind me, and it's another state trooper coming creeping up. And I say, oh shit, shift up first, second gear, and get up out of there. I get about a quarter mile up the road. There's another state trooper on the left side. A little bit further, there's another state trooper right there. So they were ready and they were waiting for me to come through there that morning. So I get away from them again. There's no way that they could catch me. I get away from them. I get to work. The owner of the farm comes in. The co-owner of the farm comes in, and I ask her, hey, remember you said I could move into the farm? Well, does that offer still stand? And she says, yes, of course. So that's what I do. I move into the farm because I'm not trying to go through that every morning. I move into the farm and everything's cool. I'm learning everything I need to learn about the cycles of the vegetables and stuff like that. And at the same time, we're getting the hemp plants ready to be planted. A couple weeks later, we plant the hemp, and we planted over 2,000 plants. A couple weeks after that, I'm not going to really get all the way into it, but the farmer guy that I was working with and the co-owner woman had some sort of a falling out, and he gets kicked off the farm. So now I'm the main farmer, and I'm doing everything I need to do. Driving the tractors, doing this, doing that. Just taking care of everything. Keeping everybody busy, making sure everyone had work to do. We also had chickens there. I took care of all the chickens, fed them, put them in at night, took them out in the morning, all that good stuff. So we'll skip forward a little bit to now it's time to harvest the hemp plants, right? And like I said, we had over 2,000 plants, so it was a bigger operation than just me and maybe I think 4 Mexican women and then an older Dominican guy. So we were gonna need help to harvest them. So they find some day labor company that will send groups of people to a job for the day, and they get paid at the end of the day, which is cool, I guess, for them. So that's what they do. They send those people. Now, it might have been day 1. I'm not even supposed to be really doing the work like that. I'm just supposed to be keeping everybody on task and making sure everything's running smoothly. Right? So day 1 of these guys coming up, and we've now been harvesting the plants for a couple weeks now. And we have these weed whackers with attachments on them that look like a big circular saw blade. And literally, you hold in the gas on the weed whacker, and you just ting, ting, very lightly, and it chops the hemp plant down right at the base, and you try to catch it before it falls and goes in the dirt. So one of the guys asked me for my help. They weren't able to get it. They weren't doing that good with it. So I jump out of the gator, little vehicle for the farm, little farm vehicle. I jump out of the gator. I got a cigarette in my mouth, probably my phone in my hand, and I jump out, take the weed whacker from him, start it up, and I go to chop down the plant, and it gets stuck. It gets stuck on the base of the plant. It's pretty thick, and there's weeds all down there. We haven't harvested, we haven't weeded because it's an organic farm, and we would either have to weed it by hand or use a torch or something, and it was just easier to just weed the pathways and not around the actual plants. So the saw blade is now stuck in the base of the plant, and I'm tugging on it, holding the gas at the same time, and suddenly it just comes free, skips across the ground, skips over my steel toe. I had steel toe Timberland boots on. Skips over the steel toe, right past the steel part, and rips right through my boot. And I don't feel nothing. I look down. I felt like pressure, but no pain. I look down and I see cotton coming through my boot. And like I said, I don't feel no pain, so I'm like, oh shit, that was close. I'm thinking it's like the lining of the boot or something like that. So I go to take a step, and my foot is not functioning correctly. So I know something's wrong. I almost like fell to the ground, but not in pain. Just I couldn't walk. So no blood, none of that. So I jump back in the gator. I don't say nothing to nobody. I drop the weed whacker on the ground, jump in the gator, and go up to the main farmhouse. And my little sister is working in the office with the other office girl, and I start pounding on the door. Nothing crazy, but just to be heard. They come out bugging. Now by now I'm bleeding through my boot, so I know for sure, and it's starting to hurt. I know for sure I cut myself, but I didn't know how bad yet. So we jump in the car, go to urgent care. Long story short, they couldn't help me, obviously. I didn't even take my boot off at urgent care. There was only LPNs there. There wasn't even an RN there. They just wanted to see it. That's what I think. So we get back in the car, go to the hospital. Long story short, I won't get all the way into the gritty details, but I cut through my boot, I cut through my tendons, and I cut through the nerves. I cut through my big toe and part of my other toe, the one next to it. So now I'm back at the farm. She's helping me with workman's comp, getting me on the workman's comp so I can get paid every week, and she's paying me my salary each week, my $600, which this was 10 years, 12 years, 15 years ago. So I was making out better, honestly, injured than I was just working. So I'm on the farm still. She says I could still stay there and still keep doing everything I was doing, but just not to work as hard because I'm wearing like this big gray boot thing with my foot exposed, sort of. I kept it covered, but my toes were basically out. And I had this pin in my big toe. Oh my god. So yeah. So I'm up at the farm and just regular stuff. I'm still driving the tractor with the hay trailer to pick up the loads of hemp plants when everyone's all done. So the woman on the farm, she's always going on vacations and trips to this place and that place, and she tells me that she's getting ready to go on a trip to France. So basically I'll be at the farm by myself with no one to answer to, at least. So I'm just doing whatever, chilling, partying, whatever you want to call it. Not partying, but you know. One morning the woman calls me. She doesn't know like the things I'm running from or my license is suspended. The woman calls me and says, "Hey Lamar, do you mind doing me a favor?" And I say, "No, why not? Of course." One of her friends that lived like 30 minutes away or so has some furniture that they're trying to get rid of, and she offered her the furniture first, and the lady wanted it. So she asked me if I would go pick it up. Now, the night before, I hadn't slept maybe 2 hours. I was up all night. And I just say, yeah, I can't say, yeah, I didn't get any sleep, so, like, I can't do it. So I just say, yeah, I'll do it. So, first of all, I get in the car. It's a rainy day. No, it's not a car. It's a Suburban, a big old Suburban, big old gray Suburban. And nobody in this small little country-ass farm town got a Suburban except for this farm. And where it's parked at, anyone who drives by will know that that truck is from that farm, right? So it's a rainy day. I head out there. I get lost, sort of, on my way out there. It's in the middle of nowhere. Finally, I find my way there, get all the stuff. The lady's looking at me like I'm crazy because my eyes probably look crazy. I jump in the truck and I'm on my way back. Driving down the road along the way. It's raining, pouring rain out. And I'm either messing with my phone or messing with the radio. But either way, I'm looking down at something, and I look up, and I'm over the yellow line, the middle lane, the line in the middle of the road, and there's cars coming this way. 3 cars, to be exact. And one of the 3 cars, the middle car, was a police officer from the town up there. And I swerve back into my lane. I look up in the rear view, and I see him hitting his brakes. I got lucky that there was a car in front of him, a car behind him, and there was a car behind me, but a little ways back. So he wasn't able to just slam on his brakes and whip that U-turn. He had to and it was raining. So he had to wait for the car behind me to pass, which was maybe 30 seconds, and make sure the car behind him knew he was just going to stop and turn around. So once I see him hit his brakes, I floored it to get up out of there. And in my mind, I'm not running from the police yet, really. I'm not running from the police until they get behind me and got their lights on. Which, I'm coming up around this corner and he still hasn't even fully turned around yet. His lights are on, but he's not behind me. He's still way back. So I keep going, and it's this long, drawn-out turn. I don't know these roads. I've never been on this road in my life. I'm in someone else's car. I've never really driven like that. I'm coming. Luckily, the car just got tires put on it. I'm coming around the corner, and it's pouring rain, and I can feel the back end of the truck kicking out. And I correct myself, and you feel it kick the other way. I almost lost control. I almost ran off the road. But I saved it somehow. It's screeching. I save it, and I keep going. And somehow I get away, and the cop never catches up to me. So now I'm thinking, as I get closer to the farm, that cop has probably driven by the farm and probably knows that car. So they'll probably be on their way any minute now. So instead of parking it in its normal spot, I go around the back of the farm and park it back there and hidden sort of in the cut, hide it. So if the police did realize where the truck came from, they might drive by or pull in and they won't see it, and they'll think maybe the truck is still not back yet, right? I go inside, I download a police scanner, and I'm sitting there listening to the scanner, listening to hear radio chatter about me, basically, and I never hear nothing. So after an hour of me listening, I just slowly forget about it. But I never reparked the truck back up the front. I just felt like that cop was going to drive by in the next few days and be like, oh shit, there's that car. So I leave it parked back there. And the woman comes back off vacation maybe 3-4 days later and is like, hey Lamar, why is the truck parked back there? And I come up with some story that was good enough for her, I guess. And that was that. So now I'm still injured on the farm, and I don't remember who it was, but someone tells me I can get paid for that injury, right? Like through workman's comp. Not just like the weekly payments, but like get a lawsuit. And I was never even thinking about that. That was never like a thought to sue workman's comp. So I'm calling around to different lawyers, and some are interested. Most of them are not. None of them are interested. Let me say that. None of the lawyers are interested in taking my case. And then I get a call back from one lawyer group, Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti, and they say, oh yeah, you definitely got a case, right? So So the lawyers tell me that I definitely got a case, and they're gonna send me a packet of paper in the mail, and they want me to fill out the papers and all that, and whatever. So I get the papers in the mail, and one day I'm sitting in the dining room area of the farm, and the woman comes walking in the farm. Hi, Lamar, how you doing? Oh, what paperwork are you filling out? And something told me to lie or not to tell her what exactly I was doing, but I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. Right? Because when you go out on workman's comp, you're not suing the person, like the woman. I'm not suing her. I'm not about to take her house, even though I would now if I could. I'm not about to take her house. It's like insurance. That's something that you pay for every month. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's like car insurance or unemployment. So I tell her I talked to a lawyer and they're going to help me get whatever they think I deserve. And I just see the look on her face completely change. And from that day on, she just acted completely different with me. Like, she really acted like I was trying to, like, take something from her, or, like, you know, which was not the case. So, a few weeks later, maybe, she's going on vacation, and I get a phone call from a number that I don't have saved in my phone, but it's a California number. I don't know nobody in California. One person, actually. So I answer it, and it's a woman that I met one time at the farm who says she's the HR for the farm. And I forget the exact conversation, but long story short, she didn't want me on the farm anymore. She thought I was trying to be sneaky, or I don't really know what was going on in her head, but she didn't want me on the farm. And she tells me I got so many days, so much time to move, basically. And she was trying to say like a week, 2 weeks. Now I know that I lived there. I've been there for a few months. You can't just tell somebody that they got to move out, but I don't want to be somewhere that I'm not wanted, welcome. And to begin with, I never wanted to live on the farm anyway, right? So I say, shit, I'll be gone by tomorrow or the next day. Like, I think I told her I'll be gone in 2 days. If it was a Wednesday, I told her I'd be gone Friday. If it was a Friday, I told her I'd be gone Sunday. And that's what I do. I get all my shit and get the fuck up out of there. And stole her whole fucking change jar on my way out with like $500 worth of change and dollars and shit in there. Fuck that bitch. Let me stop. So, yeah. Then I was not a farmer anymore. So, that's a story of the summer that I became a weed farmer while being on the run, and how quickly it all ended. And the moral of this story is, don't put things off to the last minute. Sometimes it might work out better for you if you just face things head on, right? It would have for me in that situation. And in case anybody was wondering, maybe about a month later after I left the farm, I'm traveling up to my mother's house up to Taconic in my girlfriend's car, and we get pulled over. I get pulled over. I try to run from them, but the car had no balls. I tried to run from them, and it didn't work out. So I pulled over. I didn't really try to run. I tried to get away before he really got pulled out and got up on me, but it didn't work out for me. And I ended up going to deal with all of those courts that same day. And at the end of it, after maybe 6, 8, 10 hours of going from police station to police station and getting transferred to from this police force's car to the next police force's car, I go see the last judge and they ROR'd me. So really, I had nothing to worry about. I could have taken care of this all day one and never had nothing to worry about and never would have even had to go to the farm. But it was a good experience. I learned a lot, so I don't regret the time at the farm. It wasn't too bad. I really liked it. So anyway, yeah, that was my story for the day. And let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Let me know what you guys might want to hear next. All right, I'm out. Peace.